Hi, this is Mim Jenkinson, and you're listening to the Planner Podcast. This episode is sponsored by my free masterclass on creating stickers that sell. If you're looking to start a creative side hustle from home and wondering if you can be successful in making and selling stickers, this is for you. If you're worried that the market is oversaturated or how you can make stickers that stand out, this class has you covered. To sign up for this free 60-minute masterclass, head to lovefrommim.com/class. Hi lovely, I am so excited to share my conversation with Shelley Ontis with you today, and it's the perfect timing as we head into the new year. Shelley helps creative entrepreneurs grow their income by using simple marketing techniques, and even if you don't have your own business, you're going to get a lot of goodness from this chat. Shelley has been a freelancer in marketing and branding from her home since 1997, and she loves sharing her experience to help you grow too. Helping you stand out in what feels like a saturated market is her jam. I know many of you will relate to that, and she believes there's room for all of us at the table. You just need a little marketing help. Shelley knows what works, and she uses the same techniques to grow her own blog now that her kids are off to college. And when she's not working, you'll find her and her hubby enjoying morning coffee and probably a donut or two in their hot tub. You will love this episode as much as I love chatting to Shelley, so let's go on over and listen in now. Hi Shelley, I'm so excited that you are here. We've been trying to plan this chat for such a long time. I'm very grateful for your patience, and now we're here.
I know. I'm so excited to be here. I just love talking about planners, like we were just saying.
We've just been talking before I hit record that we could talk about planners all the time. While I've got people in my life who use planners and love them, it's not quite at the same level of, we'll call it dedication rather than obsession.
I love that. It's a fun addiction.
So fun, so fun. And we were talking about how paper planners are so different to digital planners, and there's like not many people who use both, but I think some are starting to. For me, it's all about paper.
Right. I use digital reminders.
Yeah.
Just because the day gets away from me and I forget,
Same.
what time it is, but
we're here today to talk all about planners. Shelley is not only a user of a planner, but she also has her own as well. So she's going to tell you all about that today. But I'm so excited to chat with you, Shelley. I know that you do a few different things in your business when it comes to planning, but do you want to introduce yourself? Let us know who you are, what you do, who you help, all the things.
Sure. So, like you said, my name is Shelley Ontis, and I'm with We Can Make That. And I have self-published a marketing planner for entrepreneurs. And I guess I'll just kind of tell the story about how that, and then that'll fill in the rest of the blanks. So,
love the story.
Yes, I have been an entrepreneur for 25 years now. I started out doing graphic design and helping local businesses with marketing. So I've been working, out of my home for 25 years now. And about, I'm trying to think how long it's been. I think it was in 2017. I really started the DIY blog. So I create digital files. We have DIYs that use the SVG, the digital files for the Cricut and the Silhouette. And I found myself trying to manage both of those. Plus I had two kids in that middle school era who couldn't drive themselves, but were involved in absolutely everything.
I know that. Yeah.
I needed to go everywhere. So I found myself a little short on time, feeling disorganized, all of the things. And I thought, okay, so I tried about every planner I could under the sun, trying to figure out how do I fit in dance lessons in my planner, and social media marketing and blog post topics, and then email marketing. And, the list goes on, as you very well know. And that's where I decided, well, I'm a graphic designer for how many years? I've been doing print this whole time. So I decided just to make one, and then started to share it with my friends, and they're like, what are you using? Give me one of these, and then started to publish them. So I self-publish them every year, and they're dated right now so that as an entrepreneur, we do not have time to write in 365 days.
The whole point of the planner.
Right, exactly. Because my creative brain loses track, and somewhere around the springtime, I miss a day or put a day in twice, and then the rest of the year is messed up. So anyway, long story short, that's kind of that's what I fill my days with, I guess. And that's how the planner came about.
I love that. And I know that your planner is particularly for those who are like creative entrepreneurs in marketing. And I think I completely resonate with what you were saying about being at home and organizing your life generally requires a planner always, in my opinion. But then when you're also working from home on top of that, you've got the added things that you need to plan. And I know that some people like to have multiple planners, like one for home, one for family, one for work. For me, I want it all in one place because I've only
Right.
got one brain, one pair of eyes. Like I can only look at one thing at once. And I didn't want to keep referring to other things. So I use my planner in exactly the same way, in just managing all the things in one. So I love that you've created that too. And what kind of people are getting a really good experience with your planner? So it is those creative entrepreneurs, isn't it? Anybody else?
Yes, I have a lot of real estate agents, social media managers, either just locally in my town. Some of them will buy multiple planners and then just keep one for each client.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's really the creative entrepreneur, boutique owners. If you have like a brick and mortar, if you have a store, obviously you're probably on social media and trying to find customers and share your products. So then they also find it very useful.
Yeah.
But the majority of them are DIYers who have turned business owners.
Yes.
So they're making personalized products, stickers, because
Stickers.
yeah, as soon as you start creating something or putting something out there, you realize that I'm not the only one doing it. The majority of people have competition and a saturated market, they feel.
Yeah.
And this will organize your day, this will organize your content, your business, and then you can also put in I was going to say fit in your personal life, but maybe we should fit in our personal life and then put the personal life in and fit the business
It's the
around
right
it.
time
But
for all of the things. And as well,
right.
you know, you can only, like you can only think about so much without feeling overwhelmed. And a lot of my audience do have their own creative businesses, whether they're making their own stickers or other handmade products, or even just a general business that's online selling the thing that they do. But one thing that I found is that it's very easy to get in that creative zone. We're all creators, we all love to spend time in creation, but we don't have a business unless we're making sales. And by making sales, we need to do those promotional activities, creating content, sharing it on social media, all of those things. And it's that like big picture of excuse me, big picture of it all feels a bit overwhelming for some of them, especially when you're just starting out. So just having a planner where you can actually see, you know, a reminder to post on Instagram today, or pin something on Pinterest, or have you sent an email to your list, you know, like those things. And you will have, I'm sure, created this because you wanted to set those reminders for yourself in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times we end up with that, oh my goodness, I haven't posted today, or I
Yeah.
haven't sent an email in 2 weeks. So then we just kind of, I like to say word vomit on them. And at the end of the month, you go back and you look at everything you said and everything you sent and everything you posted. And you're like, oh, I forgot to tell them about this, or I should have said this, because then my next post was. So the prompts in the planner will allow you to form a marketing plan. So I used all the marketing knowledge to put together the kind of the baseline, kind of a paint by numbers, and then you fill in the blanks. And at the end of the month, whatever you've posted and gone live about, made a reel about, sent an email about, like they all kind of mesh together, because let's face it, our news feeds are so busy, our lives are so busy. And how many times, like right now in the Christmas season, when we're recording this, have you thought or said to somebody, I saw this really cool product that you need to get for so and so, but I can't remember the name and I can't remember the company. So we need to keep, I know I've said that. At least I can think of 3 gifts I bought that I had to really search for. But so this will put all of that into kind of a path for them, so that your customers will know where you're trying to take them, what you're trying to say to them. And then at the end, you can drop that little, you know, buy my product message, and they've gotten to know, like, and trust you because you've used the prompts.
Yeah, you're showing up consistently. And I think as well, it can feel overwhelming, especially when you're just starting out, to know when to promote and how to promote. And and we all essentially want a footpath or a checklist or a roadmap. Like we want all of the things, like give me the 10 steps and I'll do it is what
Right.
people say all the time. So I love that you've done that. And I love that you've combined your marketing and branding experience with your small business experience, with your creativity. And there's a few people in my audience who have had their hand up to say, I would love to create my own planner, but they literally don't know where to start. And so can you give a little bit of an overview of how you actually started with self-publishing your planner?
Yeah, because, well, like I said, when I first started out and I had a couple people, so I actually started with a mom and pop shop in our town that I've been doing print for so long that I've known them for, 20 some years. So I just went to them and said, this is what I want. It's got to have the good paper because if I'm going to write on it with the pretty pens, I want it to look pretty when I'm done. So
Good.
yeah, I don't want newsprint in here, but I also want to be able to afford it at the end of the day. So we came up with something that was, a good calendared paper. So it held the ink, but yet it wasn't hard to write on, and it looked good, but it wasn't super heavy because they are, if you're watching this on the video, they are, about a notebook size.
Yeah.
So it's not cumbersome. It doesn't feel heavy. So yeah, I just went to the local shop and said, here's my digital file. And I knew exactly how they needed it to output it. And then I did a very small quantity. I think for the first year, like every month and a half, I would print just, 25, 30 of them, 40 of them.
Yeah.
And it kind of kept snowballing. And I'm like, well, I don't want to have them. It was later in the year when I started. I think that first year I started in October, and now we try to have them ready in June.
Oh, that's so good. And then year on year, you'll be able to see, well, this is how many sales I made, and these are the promotion activities I'm going to do. So you can have a guess then of how many you need to get printed for the following year in the run up to it.
Right. And, the more I had left when I then went and did them commercially, I guess after that, then the next year I went to a sheet fed printer. So it's not more of the digital quick print kind of thing, although they can be really good too if you have great equipment. But then I went to the sheet fed, and then we got them printed, and we have the pretty pearl colored spirals and stuff like that. So it was fun to go through the process. But then when I ended up with that quantity, it also made me a better salesperson, because knowing I had all these boxes in my living room, I had to go out there and talk about it.
That's an incentive.
Yeah. But unless it's 2020, then it's probably not a good year to start a planner, because nobody needed a planner last year. But we have, I think a lot of people then kind of leaned into the whole online space. So they took time to get to know how to use a planner like this.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, the progress. One lady, after about 4 months, ended up 100 timesing her Facebook engagement.
Wow. Which just shows the importance of actually doing the promotion.
Consistency.
Consistent with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's one of those things that we hear such a lot, but if we're not going to be visible and get out there and actually tell people about what we're selling, no one's going to just come along and buy it necessarily. So I love that you're helping people get more visible too. And I know you were joking about 2020 being the worst time of year to launch a planner because no one used it. I actually, and I laugh at those memes when they come through on social, but I actually used mine way more because I was at home working already. I was already using my planner to do, managing work life, personal, all of the things. And then I had the kids home with homeschooling. So while we were not out and about doing all of the appointments and, any of that fun external stuff necessarily in lockdown, there was so much more that I had to manage at home. So I actually upped my planner active.
Upped your planner game, right?
Now we're all like organizational ninjas. We had no choice.
I think I need to put that on a shirt, like planner ninja.
Planner ninja. Oh, I feel like we are though. We had to get even more creative with how we were using our time, and still do. Honestly, we I think I told you at the start of the call, like we're back in isolation for a week. It's just one of those things, isn't it?
Right. It's a vicious cycle.
I know. Like, where will we be today? Will we be at home again? Well, probably.
Right. That's where those, I don't know if you use them, but the Pilot has those erasable fix-on pens.
Yes, we're holding up our
Yeah.
pens. Anyone listening on the
The
podcast?
pandemic pen, we should
They
call
are
them, right?
just the best. The best. I hope that Pilot pens, friction pens increased in sales significantly because they were definitely well used in my house.
Right. I know. I dried out a few of them.
Oh, love them so much. And when you're designing your planner, so for people like me who I'm like a non-designer designer in that I design stuff, but I wouldn't have ever classed myself as being an artist or a designer or a graphic designer before. So I tend to use things like Canva, whether it's the free tool or the pro version. I love Canva. Anyone who's not using it, I'll link it below because it's just the best free
Right.
graphic design software that I've ever used. How about you with your graphic design experience? How did you actually come up with your designs and put them together into the planner?
Oh, that's funny that you talk about Canva because when it first came out as a graphic designer, which was my full-time income, I hated Canva.
Oh, of
I
course
was like,
you would.
are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But then we ended up needing so much more that it just isn't feasible for small business owners to own, to hire a graphic designer or get the Adobe software, which is what I use.
Yeah.
And what I love too about Canva is it helps the non-designer do their own graphic design. Because at first, non-graphic designers started to make content, and then they'd come to me and say, well, I did all this social media stuff and I did all this product creation and packaging on my stuff, and it's just not selling. And then I had to be the bad guy and go, because it doesn't look professional. But the nice thing about Canva is it has the templates, it has the tools, and it kind of, also walks you through with how to make good graphic design.
Yeah. It's so true because I find that even if I've got ideas in my head, when I've put them together visually, sometimes in Canva or in another program, it just doesn't look anything like as good. And it'll be things like the color palette isn't quite working together, or the positioning of things, or the font combinations. Like there are so many ththings that it doesn't come naturally to me, but Canva, it does help with the templates do that for you. But obviously you've got I've seen inside your planner and it's so beautifully put together, and it looks so intuitive as well. Like it's really clear to me that you have your design background.
It's not my first rodeo.
Yeah, you've been around.
Great.
Oh, I love it. Go on.
I was gonna say, I like to say I started when I was 13, but it's not true.
Well, it probably is true. Although, can you imagine like how spoiled the kids are now at school who can use things like Canva to do the stuff that we had to use like a typewriter for?
Right. We were talking to my kids because both my kids are in college right now, and I was talking to one of them this afternoon, and I was thinking about how my first year at graphic design school, they didn't have computers. Like, this is how old I am, people.
Yeah, it would be though.
Yeah. In 1992, when I went to college, we didn't have, we had them the second year, but then the teachers were really trying to figure out how to use them as well. And they didn't have the Adobe software, So.
I wasn't long after you. We had computers, but it was like 1 per 20 students or something.
Yeah, 4 minutes on it every day.
Didn't get a look in on them really.
Yeah. Oh, funny.
So we're aging ourselves. But yeah, I think it's so like, I feel so envious sometimes of what people have now when they're getting into graphic design, but at the same time it's just so awesome that it's now so accessible to everybody to do these things, and I love it. But what about for you? So having your own planner, helping the people that you help with it, what do you enjoy the most about the whole process?
I think it's walking them through. This year, I started to do workshops. So when you get the planner, it comes with a set of kind of overview. So it explains what section is for, and then you can take that and turn it into what works for your business. And I always tell people, don't be afraid to leave stuff blank, because we try to do all the things because everybody in our newsfeed is saying, do this, but pick one thing and do it great. And then keep building up as you go throughout the year. It'll save your brain. It'll save your sanity.
That is such good advice, because you do feel like you need to do everything. And even I'm like a space filler. So even in a planner, if there's a gap for something, I've got this inclination to fill it when I don't have to do that. You don't have to.
Right. That's what the stickers are for. Like if you're not doing email and you're just focusing on, Instagram right now, then just put a sticker over the email section.
And can you use stickers in your planner?
You can. Yep.
Good.
Yeah,
Well, it's got the seal of approval from me then.
yeah. Yep, they're good. And this year, and the last year too, we did the cover that is tear proof. So it kind of has a plastic feel to it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I like to say, I had so many people the first couple of years
yeah.
that would say they spilled lattes on them. So I
Yeah.
like to say it's latte proof, but you probably couldn't like soak it in a latte. But if you spill it and clean it up right away, it will.
It'll be wiped clean. I think that as
Yeah.
many of us who are either just messy like me or parents, then that's a plus. Very
Right.
necessary.
Yeah. And I have a lot of painters, like door hanger painters and furniture painters. So they get paint and stuff on there. And if it's wet, it will wipe off. So that's kind of fun. But
So necessary.
yeah.
And so we're just about to finish. We've got 2 weeks left, haven't we? It's December the 16th today when we're
It's
chatting. So
crazy.
we've got 2 weeks left of the year. So crazy. Really, we only have a week because what does the meme say? Like what happens between Christmas and New Year is like, who knows?
Right. We just blink and the tree's coming down.
Everyone's a bit awkward. So people are starting to choose their planners for next year and to start thinking about what they want to achieve next year. So you've been planning for such a long time and helping other people plan their year with your planner and in other ways. Are there any, whether it's like any top ideas or top tips or things to focus on, or any mistakes that we should avoid when we're planning our 2022?
I think end up with that end goal is what I like to talk about. So like I started to say, and I think I went on a different tangent, but I started to do workshops. So people come on a Zoom with me and they talk about their big goal. Like I want to make, 4,000 sales on Etsy this year or whatever it might be. And then how do you break that down? Because at the end of it, we think about it all year, but thinking about losing weight, thinking about growing your business, and none of them work like they should.
Yes. Oh, I know.
And then the end of the year comes and you're still at that 20 pounds and you didn't make those sales, right? So I like to say to sit down and look at that goal. And that's what the first 2 pages in the planner really will help you do too, is what is that end goal? What do you really want to accomplish this year? And then you can focus in on how you can break that in monthly. So I pull up the monthly view and I write in, what kind of new digital designs are we doing? What kind of new blog posts are we doing? What is our theme of our Friday email going out? And then I can move time into my daily schedule to get those done.
Yes.
And that alone, when I started to do that, I ended up 6 timesing my website traffic.
Wow. Yeah.
So whether you have an Etsy store, just all the places in the planner where it says blog or website, just replace it with Etsy in your brain. And then how can I make that work? And it's not somebody said to do this, so I'm going to do that kind of a concept. You have to really let those influencers that you're following, ourselves included, like how does it spark something in like personable to you or in your business per se. So then it becomes your thing and it really explodes. Because I have found that myself. Somebody said, I did this, and you have to do it this way, and you have to go through these hoops, and then you'll get to this end result. And I found a couple times along the way over the last few years, kind of almost my head, and thoughts and their coaching kind of clashing. And if I had just trusted my gut, I probably would have gone further faster.
Oh,
and it's
preach that. Yeah.
Right. But and a lot of times I like to say, try it their way once and then make it your own so that you get a feel for the concept of what they're trying to show you. But it has to be your own to be your business, or it's not going to be sustainable, or it's not going to grow like you want it to grow.
That's such good advice, because there are so many mixed messages and there are so many great messages too about all the different activities that we can be doing, whether it's, to grow our business, whether it's making sales, finding more people, putting together products, coming up with ideas, planning them. Like there are so many good ideas of how we can do that now. And I think that it's great to do some testing all the time, but you do essentially have to come down to what those daily activities or weekly activities are going to be, right? Which is just what you've said. So having that big goal and then being guided with your planner to actually break it down. But what does that mean to me and to my business? What does that mean I need to start doing? What does that mean I need to stop doing so I can stop wasting time on things that are not working. We can, just because everyone else, like you say, is doing something doesn't mean that you have to. And maybe you've tested it and it doesn't really feel good or work for you. But it's the same thing when it comes to what you were saying about the goal, whether it's business related, health related, personal. Like if we're not actually coming up with the activities that need to be done and feeling like we're actually in the role of the person who's going to be dedicated to achieving them, or we're just going to get to the end of the year and say, oh, I didn't lose those 20 pounds. I wonder why. Well,
Right.
what were you
Yep.
doing? I'm talking to myself here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm talking to the Shelly in the room.
Good thing the ice cream helped. Wrong daily activities.
Yeah, right. I should have been making reels instead, but whatever.
Oh, I do love reels so much. I love them so much. They're so fun.
I just started, so
Yeah.
I need to get on board, I think.
Yeah, well, it was one of those. In fact, it's probably the biggest thing for this year, business wise, where I really resisted for ages, thinking, oh God, they've just added reels to the mix of all the other options that we can choose from. And now everyone's saying that it's not just new, but it's also super important to start doing reels for your business. And look at these, so judgy, look at these women dancing around their kitchens. It seems really strange. And I just had pointing at the things and like all of it, just it to me, it was like, this is nonsense. I'm not doing it. No. And then the more I watch them, because you can't help but watch them because Instagram are just all the reels in everyone's feeds, the more I thought, oh, they actually look like they're having loads of fun. Like it just seems a lot of fun. So I've done a few myself for the sole purpose of just testing. It's not with the big goal of this is going to grow my business or this is going to get me 10 new followers. Like it's just actually having fun and doing a bit of testing. And I think that stage is all right, isn't it? Test the new things. And then, like you say, look back on what's working, and that can go in the plan for then if it's going to help you achieve your goals later.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I did a lot with social media marketing, like locally and helping, local businesses and then online in the planner. And it was, you post this many times a day, you go live this many times a week, and this is what you get in return. And coming into this quarter, I started to look at the data, which I really, there's spots in the planner to track your stats of different things, social medias, website, emails, Etsy store traffic, all that stuff. And being able to go back and look at that and saying, okay, look at all this time and energy I spent on that social media. And it ended up to be 8% traffic to my website.
Yeah.
And then I did this other thing and kind of just threw it out there, and it was 40% traffic. And I was like, okay, fine.
So, the data, like, as if we're looking at the data, we can't argue with that. That's how valuable it is, isn't it? And
numbers don't lie.
They don't lie. And so if we can get that combination of what do we enjoy and what's actually working as well, then that's amazing, isn't it? But sometimes it just isn't working. We've done some testing and we realize that, Facebook might work for this person, but it isn't working for me, or reels are working for them, or sending an email twice a week is working for them, but not for me. But test the things, work out, look at the data, look back in your planner to see, well, have my stats been increasing or decreasing when I've added in these new activities or changed things? But without that, it's all a stab in the dark.
It is. And what you think, I think a lot of it is our mindset around it. I know when I first started emails, which is a huge part of our traffic right now, I was like, okay, I'll do one a month, and I kind of agreed to do it and was telling a business friend, and I'm pretty sure I whispered it to her because I was that much on board.
I penciled it in.
Right. Yeah. Not even the nice erasable pens. Yeah. And now we send one on Sundays, we send one on Wednesdays, we send one on Fridays.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did I end up to be the girl who sends it 3 times a week? I can figure out what to say once a month. So it's that mindset, and now we're still up at that 40% open rate. So it's not, putting out content, focusing in on who your ideal customer is.
Yeah.
And focus all your content around them.
Yeah, so perfect. And I think that your combination of having that experience as a business owner yourself for so long and the design experience to be able to deliver this planner in a certain way and giving people the easy consistency to make sure that we're actually getting our sales and promotion activities done and our content and all of the things that we need to do. But like you say, in a very personalized way, it is going to be the key to getting that data to be able to work out what's working and what isn't. And without that guidance, I think it's just I can think back so easily to how overwhelming it was in the early days of setting up my business, of not knowing where to start, seeing everyone doing everything and me just having no clue. And when you're starting with no email list or no followers, you still got to start somewhere. They're not just going to all turn up overnight.
Right. We can't wish for things to get started. We have to jump in. You have to start them. And that's really where it all begins. And there's no right or wrong way. You don't have to have one before the other. There's no clear path. You just have to start. What is that saying? Like the worst decision is no decision at all.
Yes. And it's so true. So true. And there's a few things that I'll be testing for next year with my business as well, and just enjoying probably a few more reels because they're so much fun.
I know. I just started doing reels with Facebook because they had that program that kicked out with their paying for them. So, okay, fine, I'll do it.
Give it a go. After a few, you might be like, no, I do hate this. Or you might be like, oh my goodness, now I see what the others saw.
And it's so easy. Like I already have the content. I mean, after 4 years, you already have the content. You just have to take a minute to put it up there.
I know.
Yeah.
And so what are your plans for next year? Is there anything exciting on the horizon for you? Tell us about what's happening with the business and the planner next year.
So the planner, there's a lot of focus on blogging, just getting found and putting it on your own website, controlling the basket that you're putting all your eggs in, as they say.
Yes.
So blogging has been, I think, kind of making a comeback. It's really good for businesses. People are looking to connect with you that way. And I did a couple workshops this fall and this winter here where helping creatives get their blogging going. So we're doing a course which ties in with planner. So there'll be like a bundle for it with some, just bonus things that will help you with your marketing. So you don't have to be, I always tell people, you don't have to be a marketing expert. You just have to figure out how to market your business.
Yes.
And that's what you need to know. And the planner will give you those prompts. So leaning into that. And then I just really I took some different detours and I got just dizzy as a ballerina spinning around, pivoting all of 2020. And I'm like,
sounds familiar.
And it just kind of carried into 2021. And I was about 2 months ago, I said, I don't know how many times in a week I am done pivoting. Like we're just getting back to what the foundation of We Can Make That was, which was crafting. And we changed everything. So it has commercial rights now. So if you're a business crafter or if you're just a crafting for fun, you will find things that will inspire you.
And my peeps are. They love crafting. Crafting is either a big part of their life personally or a big part of the business that they want to start, whether it's an Etsy business or a different kind. And many of us enjoy both as well. So tell us a little bit more, Shelley, about how we can all go and discover your website and socials and find out more.
Sure. So if you find us on the web at wecanmakethat.me, and you'll see the planner link in there. And on Instagram, I'm iDesign by Shelley. And Shelley is Chelly.
Amazing. And I will pop all of the links in the show notes below. I've really enjoyed this chat so much. And I'm so excited for your business for next year and for mine. And come back on again so we can have a chat a few months into the year to see how things are tracking as well and how things are going, because I love to be able to track my goals for sure, but also see how, when we've had conversations like this, how others are going. And I think that we've both got a really similar outlook for next year, that it's actually simplifying things rather than adding a bunch of new activities and new things, simplifying our lives and our businesses, and probably just doubling down on the things that are working.
Yeah, I think, we definitely need to touch base. I'm working on a craft business summit, so you and I need to have a conversation. So it'll be virtual.
Yes, we do. And anyone watching and listening, I'll tell you more about that when I find out more.
Yeah, I think it's right now I have it scheduled for the end of July. So we'll connect and
I'll put it in my planner.
right. There you go. And I'm mapping out the marketing right now in my planner for it. So it'll be fun.
See how organized you can be as well with Shelley's planner. So we'll have a link to your website and socials and a link to so that people can check out your planner as well. It looks absolutely beautiful. And I think that anyone who's looking for that roadmap or hand holding a little bit with how they're going to structure their working days in their business and planning out the marketing activities, I think it will do a really good job at that. So
yes, I love it. It's been fun. And we do have a digital or a printable one. So, since you and I are not really neighbors, we're a little far apart, but so if you're shipping outside of the States because of the book size and all that, it gets a little bit pricey, but we have a printable one that people just take to their local shop, their local Staples kind of a thing, and then have it bound. Because nothing would be more unorganized than 365 days sheets loose on your desk. But a lot of the quick prints,
good idea.
Yeah, a lot of the quick prints can put the spiral binding on there, so it becomes a notebook type journal for you or planner.
Oh, that's perfect. That's such a great idea. So there we go. Anyone all around the world can indulge in your planner in a way that makes sense for them.
There you go.
I have loved our chat. Thank you so much for coming on, Shelley.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Anytime you want to talk planners, anytime.
No, secret planner friends are the best friends.
There's another t-shirt idea. I love it.
I'm just slogan aplenty today. Thank you so much, and let's catch up again with everyone next year.
Sounds good.